Hey everybody, Colin Wilcox with Extraordinary Concepts. You got to put extra in front of ordinary to be extraordinary. And we're going through the guest journey right now. And we're going to be talking about the entry, entry and first impression. Last video, we were talking about what we were talking about last video, the arrival and exterior. And then we had the ta-da moment when you open the doors and here you are. Now we're at this video right here. We're talking about the entry and first impression. So what is that? This is all part of the guest experience, and you got to really pay attention, selfless details to what it is. So, opening the door, maybe you could even get to the door and open for a customer. That's a big win if you can get to the door. You see them walking down a sidewalk, and they get approaching the door. You just grab the door, you open them up, and say, "Hey guys, welcome. Come on in." And then you start to talk to them and have some warm greetings, just like, "Hi, well, what can I do for you?" That's not the way you want to do it. You want to take on hospitality, not service. You want to really kind of get to know them. Hey, what's your name? My name's Colin. Where you guys coming from? Do you have a reservation? And so on. You want to strike up some dialogue if you can, and try to make an experience for them right in that foyer area before they sit. So how warm was the greeting? Is it genuine? And so on. So you don't want to have a hostess that's robotic. You want to make sure that they look good, feel good, and they are good. You need some personality. That's the first thing they see and the last thing they see when they come into your restaurant. So personalities are big. And if you can get management in there, that's a great plus and bonus. If you can get the manager or the owner up to the front to sort of greet the guest and sincerely welcome. It's very hard to get a customer to cross your threshold into your business. So once they do cross it, you got to right, showtime. It's game on once they get across that. So and also here we got if there is a wait, was the quote times accurate? So you don't want to say 3 minutes and then waiting for fucking 15 minutes. You don't want to be doing that. You want to try to make sure that the quote times are accurate. And ideally, you want it to be less than what you actually quoted, so that makes them feel good. Or say, hey, I was able to get you, if there was a, shorter time, like, hey, I was able to get you at an earlier table. You guys ready to sit now? And they say, yeah, great. Even if they are sitting, while they're sitting, and are they in an environment that's comfortable? Are they standing, leaning against the wall? It's just cramped, and there's a bunch of other people that are sort of cramped and like breathing down their neck. What does that environment feel like? And some people might say, well, I don't need a big area, and well, then you're also saying I'm not going to be busy, And I wouldn't suggest that you build out a big waiting area, but you really want to make sure you have some kind of plan in place where you can make a guest feel great while they wait. Sometimes they'll, belly up to the bar and get a drink there, or you can maybe bring drinks over to them or whatever. But however, it's all part of the guest experience, and you want to make sure it's extraordinary. Let's see. What was the wait area like? We just went over that. Making sure that it's lit well, it feels good. Their experience starts, like I said, out in the parking lot or before they even get into your restaurant. So when they're in their restaurant, this is where they're really going to be judging. This is what they're paying for. This is what they came for. So it doesn't stop when they sit at the table. Let's see, did they receive menus or drinks while they waited? And so, you can give a menu if they want to. Sometimes you can have them scan a code, so they're just on their phone looking anyway, so they can sort of see it. And so that one that kind of can turn tables over quicker because they actually know what they want when they get there. Two, it gives them something to do or read, or then maybe they just want to, wait and sit down and experience it that way. And how did the seating process feel? So, did the hostess like just skedaddle and you got to catch up and see where she went? Or was she, very accommodating and having a nice dialogue with you as she's walking to the table, or he, whoever's the host or hostess? And, and did you, that experience going to the table, did they take you through a bunch of other tables where you got to cut through, or was it a nice, clean, straight line to where you had to be sat? And they pulling out chairs, having people sit in the chairs, and it doesn't even if you're a dive bar and stuff, people these are things like, oh, well, I'm a dive bar, I'm not going to pull out a chair for a guest. These are those little selfless details that really stick. Some customer might think, well, you're a dive bar, like why would they even do that? But yes, wow, they actually pulled the chair out and had me sit in it and say, hey, enjoy your stay. Anything you need or any questions you have, feel free to come up and talk to me. I'll be more than happy to answer those. So this is first entry, entry into in first impression. So like all these audits and all these videos we're talking about, none of them are more important than each other. They're all very important. This is the guest experience. This is all the touching points that you got to pay attention to. Pay attention to the selfless details. You got to put extra in front of ordinary to be extraordinary. So I'll see you at the next video, and we'll continue this guest journey audit.